I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
What's good, everybody? You are now tuned into another episode of the Man Listen Show. But before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors.
Make sure you check out the new book, Mythbusters, Lessons from Active Black Fathers by Marvin Austin Banks Jr. Mythbusters, Lessons from Active Black Fathers, dispels the notion that black fathers are not involved in their children's lives. This book looks to inspire and motivate a new generation of fathers to own their roles as their children's first source of motivation and encouragement. So if you know a black dad or anybody who is a father figure to black children, make sure you buy them this book. You can purchase this wonderful book at www.activeblackdad.com.
DD's Daiquiris is your #1 supplier of premium daiquiri mixes. You will love the taste of our classic margarita and signature strawberry mixes. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at DD's Daiquiris. DD is spelled DEEDEE. You can also find us at www.dd'sdaiquiris.com. DD's Daiquiris, giving good vibes to good people, one good drink at a time.
Please buy the new book by Arika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Arika Nicole Moore.
More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services offers individual and relationship counseling as well as mediation services to the community. At More Grace, healthy partnerships are valuable and beneficial. Please visit the website www.moregracecounseling.com for more information about our approach to counseling. More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services, where we offer more grace and more healing.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can also subscribe to the show on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Twitch, basically anywhere you can find a podcast. Please subscribe to the show and let everybody else know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. All right, we down one soldier tonight, but that's all right. Rika, what up with it? But yeah, man, a lot of news, man. Our last show, we kind of, well, I went hard in the paint on Kyrie Irving and his decision to not, be vaccinated and how that was affecting his team, the Brooklyn Nets. But in the news, we saw where there's a football player, very popular football player, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. He came down with COVID. Now, that wouldn't be a big story now because, hell, I mean, people catch COVID, every day, B. You know what I'm saying? But the shocker was that he had told people that he was immunized. So he led people to believe that he had been vaccinated, right? But when they went back to when he talked about it, he said, I have been immunized. So basically he did his own research and did some sort of treatment that he felt would protect him from the virus, and which was really, basically he just lied. He lied because by not being vaccinated per, the CDC protocols, NFL protocols, he lied. And it wouldn't have been as big a deal because there's other players who have said they're not getting vaccinated, and there's different rules and protocols for those players. he was able to go around those protocols because he let people to assume that he had been vaccinated. Well, when he started to be called out, people called him a liar. That's when everything hit the fan, and he went on the news. We'll talk about his comments about, him being caught, not being vaccinated, and how he misled the NFL and the other teams on the NFL and everybody else. But what do y'all think about this whole deal when, basically you have this guy, Aaron Rodgers, who a lot of people, he's one of the top QBs in the NFL, and it came out that he basically misled everybody and was playing without being vaccinated and not adhering to the rules for players who aren't vaccinated.
I mean, I think really the burden is more on the Green Bay Packers, because like, why didn't they do their due diligence to figure out who was vaccinated or not? So like, kind of what he got in trouble for, I think part of it was like some Halloween party or something like that. But the way the NFL, from what I read, is if you are vaccinated, like, these are the protocols that you follow. This is what you have to do coming into the facilities, coming to practice, playing in games, and all this other stuff. And if you are not, these are the things that you need to do and have to do. And granted, I mean, he's an adult, so he should have did the right thing by doing the proper things that he was supposed to do, like the other team members that aren't vaccinated. But at the same time, like, what is Green Bay just like, oh, just taking your word for it? So I think they got fined $300,000, and then Aaron Rodgers got fined $14,000, which makes more sense, because I feel like, Green Bay was more at fault than him. He definitely misled them. But again, they didn't say, like, you can say he lied, but he lied. Well, so you can be immunized several different ways. It doesn't have to be a vaccine. Sometimes those words are interchangeable, but it doesn't have to be a vaccine. They still did not do what they had to do to make sure that he was vaccinated. So
yeah, but
he played word games. It was a word game, but I don't know if I can say he lied.
Like I know, the a lie on mission is still a lie. It's still a lie, and he was being purposely deceptive.
Yeah,
because everybody knew what was required. Like, I know a lot of people who were against being vaccinated, and because of the federal mandates that are coming down, one good thing that Joe Biden has done so far, where it said any private company that has over 100 employees, their employees have to be vaccinated. I think that's how it goes. And there's a lot of people that are like, okay, well, I got to get vaccinated, or I'm gonna lose my job. I know people that have to say, hey, listen, I'd rather stay at home. I'd rather go out masked up and sit and wait this out without getting vaccinated. But when it came down to their employment, they said, well, damn, I got to get vaccinated. And they did that. So to your point, see, I do, I didn't even think about that, but the Packers, they really are at fault, because I know a lot of people are like, hey, I got to do this by this date, and I got to be able to show documentation that I am fully vaccinated so I can continue my job. And not just like, oh, I just had my shot yesterday. No, the little two week period after you get your last shot, you have to be fully immunized to be able to continue to work. And you're right, the Packers dropped the ball on that. And I think some other teams called them out on that too. I think they called them out on why were they able to basically shirk the system, and we have not been able to. So, Lab, what you think, bro?
Yeah, I agree with all that. The only thing I will say is the Packers were not, the Packers knew, because he filed a request before the season with the Players Union and the NFL for his immunization to count as being vaccinated, whatever I don't know what he did, but whatever Joe Rogan did, and he took that horse medicine or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that. So Green Bay did know then.
Green Bay knew.
He took the horse medicine after he caught COVID. So basically, he caught COVID, and that's when he did that interview, and he talking about the woke mob is coming out to you. Nah, fool, ain't no woke mob.
He had
lied to folks, and then that's when he said, I've been consulting with Joe Rogan. Like, Joe Rogan is a medical.
Right. Well, he said
he was taking ivermectin, that horse.
Yeah, that's whatever that was. Yeah,
the horse.
But no, they said he filed a appeal with the league to get his whatever his immunization, whatever process he went through to get it counted as vaccinated, the league declined it. So the Packers had to be aware of that. Had to. The thing with it is I'm not even gonna blame the Packers. I'm not gonna blame Aaron Rodgers as much, because the thing with it is the rules that the collective bargaining agreement between the league and the players say all you can do is get fined. He can't get suspended. He can't. So to him, if he wants to throw away $14,000, then that's on him. You know, I mean, that's what he wants to do. It's a only difference is NBA and NFL is being indoor. A lot of those local mandates go into effect where they don't affect you outside. So, you know, it's a little different situation. He's still silly in my opinion, but hey, he's doing what the rules allowed him to do.
So he wasn't suspended. He had to sit out due to COVID protocol. Is that the difference?
Right?
Because he's tested
Right.
And then
Oh,
you're
right.
talking about the difference indoor and outdoor. Also, a lot of the stuff, like a lot of people are like, you know, people, why is he not catching as much heat as Kyrie? Well, we all know why he's not, but the situation is different.
It is.
Because it's more the state of New York and what's going on in New York
Yeah.
versus what's going on in Wisconsin. So that's why it's a little bit different.
In that respect, it is different, but I'll say that he's not catching as much heat because just listen to the conversation that we had right now. You know, see, you kind of was like, yeah, well, he kind of misled them. I almost said the MF word. Nah, he lied. It's called
But you know, but I was fine with Kyrie though, too.
He
Though,
lied.
so that's
He
not a good
lied.
example.
He lied. And
But I gave Kyrie a pass too. So.
I didn't give Kyrie a pass.
I know, so that's what I'm saying.
I called Kyrie stupid. You know what I'm saying? For leaving all that money on the table just to do it. So I'm not going to allow this white boy to get away with being deceptive. At least Kyrie Irving was man enough to say, I'm not going to do it, and I'm going to take all the heat that comes with that.
See, that's the thing now.
That's a man. Aaron Rodgers lied to try to get around it. There's a clear difference. And you saw in the news, you saw all the heat that Kyrie took, from me too. But you see people up here, it wasn't until folks started calling out the hypocrisy, and I posted it on our Instagram, that folks was like, yeah, you're right. Because if people had not called out the hypocrisy on how Kyrie was treated versus Aaron Rodgers, he would have still got off scot-free. It was like, oh, well, you know, he just kind of is just a fine and it's whatever. Nah, man, he put other NFL players at risk, because the dudes that haven't been vaccinated, they have to wear their masks. If they're not on the field with their helmet, they have to have their mask on. He was out without his mask on, talking to folks. He could have got a whole bunch of people affected by the virus. That's not right. That ain't right at all. So nah, he deserves all the heat, and he hasn't gotten as much as Kyrie, and that's wrong.
Again, it's different. It is a different situation, totally different situation. But I mean, if you want to talk about lying, Kyrie lied to his team and told them he was going to get vaccinated, and then he never did. So I mean, we can say he lied too. So okay, but the thing with it is, again,
that's not the same. That ain't even the same, bro.
It's worse to me if you lied to your employer and your employer has a mandate. That's taking a step further than lying to somebody that says, "Are you vaccinated?" And you say, "Yes, I'm immunized."
Basically, Aaron Rodgers pulled the equivalent of sleeping with a chick and said, "Did you put a condom on?" "Yeah, I did." And he didn't. Yeah, that's what he did, dog. That's the same. So no,
that's not the same, but okay, in your view.
Yes, it is. Because Kyrie never told people, I have been vaccinated, or
No, but he said, I'm going to be.
But he never said that I am. There's a difference.
But
Aaron Rodgers never did either. The reporter, a good journalist will follow up, say, so what does that mean?
Yes.
Exactly. What does that mean? If I ask you a direct question and you don't answer that question, that's the reporter's job.
You lie or you mislead somebody, who ultimately is responsible for the deception? The person who couldn't figure it out, or the person who did it?
So I don't even know if he necessarily.
Answer my question. Who's responsible for it?
Again, he's not. If you take that, I understand when he didn't answer it directly. He didn't answer it directly.
That was deceptive. That was being deceptive, wasn't it?
He didn't answer it directly. I don't know.
Is that not being deceptive? Why y'all blocking for this white boy?
I'm not. He asked him if I ask you a question and you don't answer it directly, and you leave everybody else to think of what they think, are you responsible for that? I don't think so. I think people, if they have a question, if they were unclear of something you said, then I need to follow up or I need to investigate further.
I mean, I really believe he felt he was, immunized. I don't think he thought that he was going to get it.
He knew he didn't do it per the guidelines.
And that was before that was actually before the ruling came down, though.
Wait, laugh. See, you're a parent like I am. You're a parent to teenagers and young adults like I am, correct?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, if one of your children pull one of them word games on you, like kids do, to be manipulative, are you not going to be pissed off? Because you know how they do.
Different though.
Totally different. How was it different? When you were playing word games and you were being intentionally manipulative and deceptive. Like, how is it different?
But just like the last thing though, but if I'm asking somebody a question at work and I don't ask any follow-up questions to confirm it and I just roll with it, then I'm at fault. Now, the little, 15-year-old who does play those word and mind games, yeah, I get upset. But that's a little bit different though. I mean, they got to answer questions that, I can ask whatever I want to somebody who lives in my house that I'm still paying for. At work is different though. Like the point I'm making though is that it's deception, and I don't see why we're not calling it what it is. It's being deceptive. A liable admission being like a half answer, that's deception, and that's what he did.
But see, this is the thing, Mar. And I know as a sports fan, when your coach, when your player, when they answer questions to any media member, they're not being 100% truthful ever. They ask you, what happened on this play on Sunday? What did your team do in practice? They're not being, so that's part of the MO of being an athlete when they're asked questions. It is part of it is deception. That's just what it is.
That I would rock with you on that. If you're talking about, okay, we want to have some misdirection, some deception to make sure that our future opponents don't understand what we're doing, so we can try to keep an upper hand and keep the element of surprise. But when it comes down to
everything, not even about that, every question,
when it comes down to protecting your peers and your teammates,
his teammates knew,
and when you are not honest about it, so his teammates knew that he was just immunized, that he hadn't had the Players Association went to Moderna or anything else.
Yes, the Players Association the players knew. They went to bat on his behalf to try to get his regimen counted as a vaccine.
Where is that documented? I got to see that. I can't.
You just read anything. That's why he said I was immunized, because that was before the NFL gave him his ruling that doesn't count.
Okay, but he still was deceptive. I'd have to read that before I say okay to that. But he was still deceptive. He put tons of people, not just his teammates. So you saying the players knew? Maybe was it his teammates who knew that? What about the opponents?
No, you're right. The opponents.
What about the camera?
Opponents didn't know. Yeah.
What about the referees?
Right.
Everybody else. Yeah.
But even how would that have changed much though? Because there's tons of players in the NFL who aren't vaccinated on every team.
And they wear their masks. They adhere to the protocol. He did not.
But when you're out on the field, they're not. Everybody's face to face.
You're not playing without your helmet on.
In contact. You're lining up the D line, the O line. I'm blocking. For the quarterback, I'm blocking you. You blocking me.
I know what you're saying, Mark. Yeah.
The game is over. You're interacting with the other teammates. When you're interacting with the refs and everybody else, you have to be masked up. He was not
shaking the other quarterback's hand, all that kind of stuff.
He was not. He was wrong.
Yeah. No, he was wrong because he knew. I mean, I'm not going. Yeah, he was definitely in the wrong for doing what he did. But to him, it's a value judgment. Can I do it and get away with only paying a $14,000 fine and do what I want to do? And I feel like this is what's best for me. Yeah, that's what he felt. And, it goes back to people being selfish. through this whole thing, I've come to realize, you know what, I'm not even gonna argue with other people and make them say, oh, you need to get the vaccine, this or that. You do what I'm gonna protect myself. I'm gonna do what's best for me. That's what they doing. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and if it truly works the way they say it does, then you should be. If you take it, you should be immunized, right? That's what everybody's saying.
So I'm I'm like, at this point, it's been too long. I don't have the appetite to argue with people about trying to get them, to get you to get the vaccine and stuff. So
I'm with you 1,000%. The only time is on the show because that's what we do, and even that is highly frustrating. But
that's what it is. It just frustrates me. That's why.
The most nonsense for most people. There's some people that bring up a valid argument as to why they're skeptical and why they're going to hold off. But the lion's share of people are just idiotic, So
he said he had an allergy to the some chemical in there.
He said that he had
whatever
mRNA, and then he's like, well, I want to have kids in the future, and I don't know if it's going to.
Right. That's what
dude, nobody cares. Like that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I understand.
Guess what?
Just say you ain't gonna get it.
Just say you ain't gonna get it. Don't lie. Don't
just
lie.
say you ain't gonna
put other people at risk. Be a man about it. Be a man about it. And my thing is, the blackest radio show on the internet. I gotta call out the discrepancy. I gotta call it out. I mean, they was on Kyrie. They was on Kyrie tough.
That's different to me.
Not called them out. Stephen A. Had they not called him out, y'all saw when Jay Williams called him out. It then wasn't until then Stephen A. Aaron Rodgers, you're a liar, and this, that, and the other. Because before then,
why you sound like a
because before that he was just kind of like
it's a soliloquy.
Before that he was just kind of like, that's not cool. That's not cool. And it's like for real. It's like the hypocrisy is real, and we know that. And it's no different than, to me, it's no different than the discrepancy between crack cocaine, rock cocaine, and powder, how we are treated. Has to be fair. And he deserves to be called out. And I'm not giving him no slack. I'm not giving him no just like, he did kind of. No, he lied. He lied. But anyway, I think we talked enough about that. Sad news. Astro World down in Houston, Texas. Travis Scott, the rapper from Houston, Texas, from Mo City. For those who are familiar with H-Town, Mo City is a suburb of the Houston Metro. Travis Scott was holding his Astro World Festival, and apparently it had 50,000 people in attendance. And unfortunately, some people lost their lives. There was a crowd surge, and people were crushed. And some people fell out, and some people were trampled. There were many people who were injured. And I think at the last count, I heard 8, and then I heard 10 people had passed away due to the crowd surge. And it was just a awful situation. I couldn't imagine going to a concert. Well, that's a lie. Because as a youth, I've been to concerts where there's been a crowd surge, and I was pinned up against the wall. And luckily I was a big enough guy to be able to brace myself and kind of push people off, to protect myself. But it is scary. And I've been at parties, seeing I grew up in a very, very dangerous city. I've been at parties where cats start shooting and melee, you run in and trying to get out, and if you fall, you getting trampled. So I've been in that scary situation, but I just couldn't imagine having a young child, a young adult, young teenage adult, or whatever, that go to this event to have fun, and then they end up losing their life this way. When I saw it, I just was like, dang, man, I'm just heartbroken. But what did y'all think when y'all saw the news?
When I saw it, I'm not gonna say shocked, but it was kind of weird because I was kind of, I'm not gonna say I was following the Astro World thing, but I was interested. It was on, they was showing it on Apple TV or Apple Music, whatever, and you could watch it live. He got some new sneakers that's about to drop, and so he had dropped them like for people that came to that festival. So you had to be there to get them. Otherwise, you ain't gonna be able to get them to around Christmas time or whatever. So it was a lot of people that was there. The thing that came to my mind first off, honestly, was it reminded me of
50,000 people, bro.
Yeah, 50. I couldn't believe that, but he had a baseball game I saw at the Minute Maid Park the day before. But one of the first things that popped into my head, because I saw something later, it was like it was almost like 25 years or 30 years, almost to the day, same time of year when Diddy had that event in I think it was in New York.
It was at Howard.
Yeah, Howard Homecoming. Yeah. And some people got crushed there and stuff, and how that changed him. His perspective on stuff. So, it was a sad situation, man. But
man, see, before you get in, like there was like a 9-10-year-old who passed away. And that tripped me out because maybe it was more of a reflection on my brothers, because I used to beg my parents, like, let my brothers take me to concerts because my brothers are older than me. And they probably was like, nah, because we know what they're going to get into. You too young for that. But like, I wasn't able to go to a concert till like I was like a teenager, like 17. I think I was like 17 or 18.
Yeah. Was he there with his parents?
But my parents weren't even talking about taking me to
Yeah,
nothing.
that's true. That's true.
You staying at home and then we going. So
it definitely couldn't be like a rap concert. I think my first concert was at Worlds of Fun, and my parents went. I think it was New Edition. But like as far as like just going off to a concert.
Nah. My first concert was the Brat and Ice Cube over in KCK at the Memorial, I think. And I was like, I had to be like 17 or 18. So like to me, I'm not trying to cast aspersion on those parents, but I was just like, damn, why is kids out there? That just doesn't seem, because like you've been to concerts before, cats smoking weed, there's all kind of stuff, alcohol being served, there's all kind of stuff going on. And apparently like I've heard some of Travis Scott's music, the dude makes some good music. He's a dope producer, I'm not familiar with all of his goings on. Like I know he was with it Kylie Jenner. He had a baby by her, maybe another one on the way. But like I know he had the McDonald's. He's a big deal. Like he had a burger at McDonald's. But apparently they said like his concerts, they're known for like turning up, like mosh pitting and like getting wild and stuff. So like, because I saw some people say like, hey, we know how his concerts get. So 2 or 3 songs in, we're gonna go ahead and bounce because we don't want to be a part of that.
So with that being said, though, I feel like the biggest burden is on the organizers of the concerts. Like, why did you? It's almost like, if there's an upset in college basketball, they're going to storm the court, but it's like one whole area, somebody may get trampled. But why? I guess I really don't know what they could do differently. But like how you said, you got smashed up to the wall. Like, don't have a stage that's right there where people can get up to it and to smash it. So I've been to tons of concerts. And if you don't have the right tickets, you're not getting down there on the floor. Now, granted, if everybody's storming it, there's not a whole lot you can do. But you would just think that if he has that, and everybody's, talking about him, but let's be honest, those rock concerts been like that since the 80s. They started the whole mosh pit. They started rushing the floor and all the other stuff. So if you know that that's the way it was going to be, and never like the setup or something, I don't know what you could do. I don't know if you have him up higher, you don't have a stage period. I don't know what you can do because I'm not an architect. I don't design stuff like that. But why even make something this far into that tour to where people have already been rushing it to where it happened? But I can't imagine, like I felt bad for the parents. You're right, I did kind of judge some of the younger kids that were there, but I couldn't imagine dropping off even my late teens, early 20s kids to a rap concert and they never making it home, or just any concert. And not making it home. That's heartbreaking.
And so I guess I've been reading up on it. They had contingency plans for like an active shooter. They had, because like this is a big of an event, you have to have contingency plans. And already I think people are suing. And I think Travis Scott, he's been trying to do the right thing in terms of like reaching out to the victims to say, hey, we're going to pay for the funeral and XYZ. I don't know how much culpability, and it's too bad we don't have our attorney on the show with us tonight, but like, I don't know how much culpability he will have. I know they're going to go after Live Nation. I know they're going to go after NRG. They're going to go after Travis Scott. I think Drake was there. I think
Drake was there. Yep.
Somebody was suing Drake too. it's just gonna be a mess. Of course, you know, they probably had insurance, and there's going to be a lot of settlements, right? But no matter what type of settlement you get, that'll never bring back your child or your family
Right.
member, you know, who went to just have
Right.
fun, and an unfortunate circumstance happened, you know. But they're going to pick it
Yeah.
apart. They're going to pick it apart, and like you said, see how did they not have a contingency plan? And I think it's a bad deal because you know, you got a young black man, and he was trying to do something big for his city. This is like his third time,
Yeah, third year.
of doing this, and you know, I mean, people have outdoor events all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You look at them old clips, like to your point, see, Michael Jackson, when Michael Jackson was selling out big ass arenas and having white girls fall out and everything. They've been doing this for years. And it's just unfortunate that this happened with this young brother's, you know, event.
You know what, man? I tell you what really it rubbed me the wrong way is I heard they had some police guy from Houston on I don't know if he's the chief or whatever.
The black chief, the black
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't the chief then.
Okay.
It was somebody else on NBC this morning, and they was like, what do you think could have, you know, do you think Travis Scott could have done this, could have done that? He was like, he has the pulpit, he has a ton of influence. He should have just stopped his show as soon as he saw somebody in distress or something like that. And I'm like, they blaming him for it, you know. So the cops saying
perform, you can't really see into the
man,
crowd.
the cops is throwing him under the bus.
Oh, you know that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
It was kind of tripped out though when he saw the ambulance coming through, and they showed like he was in the middle of the show, and he was like pointing at the ambulance. The ambulance was trying to come through, and it was messed up. The ambulance was taking people out, and this is how hype and turned up they were. They had folks jumping on top of the ambulance as the ambulance was going out.
That's what I'm saying. So he probably didn't know the severity of it. Like, I mean, people pass out all the time. People are dehydrated.
Yeah.
People, you know, I'm sure he had no clue there was like, you know, fatalities at that point, and he just kept on performing.
Listen, it's triggering as hell. I had to turn it off, but there were folks who were broadcasting on TikTok. They were part of the crush, and they were having their camera out, and you could see how they were like, "Help me, help me, help me," and they were just all, and it was just awful to see. It was
man. Awful. I didn't watch any of those. Yeah.
I just had, and I wouldn't have purposely looked at it, you know what I'm saying? But I saw it. I just happened to scroll and see it on TikTok. And he's catching a lot of heat, you know, because he kept performing. Because there were some people who did come on stage. They showed like this white girl was talking to one of the cameramen, and it was like, "There's somebody dead out there. Stop the show." And,
okay.
And I had heard that they were like, okay, if they stop the show, would there be a potential riot? I don't know. It's easy to, you know, the whole deal in terms of, you know, what happened, but it's just tragic. It's tragic.
Yeah. Well, man, I saw something, man, and it said that Kris Jenner already said she don't want him back on the Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
For real?
Or something like that. Or they was gonna write him out, or this their final season, they was gonna cut his clips that he was in or something. I was like, man, come on, man.
Was he actually on the show?
I don't know. I don't know, but
yeah, because I never watched. The only Kardashian I've only watched that show. I didn't even watch the show. I watched the clip. Was when one of them, I think her name was Courtney.
When they was fighting Kim.
Yeah, I watched that several times.
I saw that clip too.
They were smacking each other and all that stuff. Yeah, I watched that. But other than that, I've never had any desire to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, me either. I thought Kim was hanging out with.
Oh, hold on. I did see that the first video that Kim put out though.
Oh, you talking about
the one that started it all.
You know, but like you were saying about this whole thing, see, I looked it up because I saw something when I was looking up information about it this morning. I didn't know like Pearl Jam had some concert in the 2000 where people died. I mean, it just went down the list of all these different concerts where people had died. And I mean, and it's hopefully he's able to bounce back like, you know, other people have been, and he's not held, you know, he's not canceled because of it, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, You know, there's a difference between Pearl Jam and Travis Scott, you know what I'm saying? And just like folks gave Aaron Rodgers a pass, you know what I'm saying, over Kyrie, you know, they might do the same, but I don't know, man. I hope he can bounce back. I think he's trying to do a good thing for his city with Astro World. And I don't know if Astro World will continue after this unless they put in some like strong contingency plans for crowd surging. But you know, it's just a tragedy. It's a tragedy, and you know, our heartfelt, you know, wishes and sympathies go out and condolences go out to the families. You know, because like I said before, Houston is my second home.
Right.
Houston is my second home. I lived there for a number of years, and I love the city and I love the people there. So, but anyway, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure y'all follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. Make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, on Twitch. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, let us know. Give us a comment on our Instagram. You know, we ask questions. You know, if you want merchandise, hit up our link. You can buy official Man Listen gear, and we'll holler at you next time. Peace. Rika, what up?